Good morning, fools. Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast. I'm your host, Clint.
And I'm your co-host, Chloe.
And today we have a whole band episode.
Yeah, super fun one in my opinion. This, I think, one of my tops.
One of your tops?
I think so. I think that they were all just so nice and
now,
so
was
excited.
Was it the interview itself is in your tops, or just how, like, the whole hanging out with them before, talking to them after, during, and then seeing them play?
I think the entire interaction is swaying my standing of where the interview is. Yeah, I just thought it was a really nice day.
It was. Those guys were really cool.
And they had really cool chemistry on stage, and that was fun to see. I think that's also kind of swaying me.
Yeah, we talked about it last week on the podcast after we saw their show. But yeah, they were jamming, and it was really sick. They were awesome. We have a loaded Chloe's Corner on the back end today, though. We're going to do the interview first, but, Tuesday there's a bunch of dates. Kendall Street just dropped a new live album today. There's a new Wook dating show that we have to address. Anything else I missed?
There's a couple of things. We got a good handful on there.
So big Chloe's Corner on the back end today. So stick around for the Organ Fairchild interview, and then we'll see you on the back end with a good old Chloe's Corner.
Honey, you're listening to some All Jammed Up.
Alrighty, guys, we're here with the fellas from Organ Fairchild. They're sipping on an all jammed up beer. We're at One World Brewing before their show tonight. Fake cheers. It's funny. I was just telling you, One World is the one that sponsors the podcast, and this is actually my first interview we've done at One World, I think, right? Oh, you know what? We did one outside one time.
Yeah, with Alex.
But inside, this is the first time we did it. So is this your guys' first time playing in Asheville? You guys have been here before, right?
I think it's our third time. Third time? Mm-hmm. Third time.
Okay, gotcha. And did you guys play here last time too?
Yeah, we've been here all three times. The first time we came was for the Toe Down Festival.
Okay.
And have you guys been to that?
We have.
We're new to Asheville. We've only been here for a little over a year now.
Okay. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, we are familiar.
Oh, it's amazing.
We missed it this year.
It's a great piece of property in Green Mountain. So we got invited to do that, and in conjunction with that, we played here the night before. I think it was like a Thursday here and then a Friday at the festival.
Okay.
And we had a great time here, and then we came back, I think it was probably February of this year, and man, it was a great night. Just tons of fun, lots of people, lots of smiles. And so this is our third time, yeah.
Yeah, this place rocks. We saw you guys at Dark Star Jubilee.
Nice.
That was my introduction to Organ Fairchild. So when you guys reached out to me to do this, I was really, really excited. So happy that we're doing this. I guess to just start off first, where did the Fairchild part of the name come from?
Go ahead.
That's my favorite thing about doing group interviews is they know who to answer this question.
There's a best answerer for each one. I'm probably not, but I can tell my version. Dave can correct me if I misspeak here, but we wanted to have the word organ in the name of the band because we wanted to set it up as not a traditional organ trio, but as an organ trio. So we originally wanted to have the name Organ Freeman, and it turns out there's already a band named Organ Freeman, and they're fantastic. So we kicked some other names around, organ failure and organ transplant and stuff like that. But we settled on Organ Fairchild, and we all had Morgan Fairchild posters back in the day. So
Do you know who Morgan Fairchild
it
is?
seems fitting. Yeah, you guys are young. You probably don't.
I
right?
know Morgan Freeman.
Right. Which is that's why we wanted that name. Right.
Yeah.
So Morgan Fairchild is an actress, still is, and was super famous in the 70s and 80s on evening TV and late night soaps and stuff like that. But I mean, super popular.
Yeah. And I didn't introduce you guys by name. Go through your names again.
Sure.
I'm Dave Ruck. I play guitar.
Joe Belanti, I play keyboards.
I'm Corey Kurtzy. I play drums.
Awesome. So 3-piece, drums, keyboard, guitar. But the organ is kind of like the focal point?
It can be. It depends on the song. But it sure can be.
Dumb question from a podcaster, not a musician. What's the difference between like just keys and an organ?
Well, an organ is a keyboard. So I guess when I think of it, we tend to separate organ out. So if you look at our album covers, it'll say that I play organ and keys.
Okay.
Keyboards. But they're all keyboards.
Yeah.
But because organ is in the name, and we do a lot of organ trio, influence types of things, we tend to single that out.
Gotcha. And you guys were like all playing in like a dead band like since the 80s and then started this in 2020, is that right?
Pretty much, yep.
So how did it go from like just being a dead cover band to evolving into what it is now?
Well, we had a gig with a friend of ours named Dave Teo, and he asked us to do a gig with him, and we did a sound check, and the bass player and Dave got off the stage, and then the three of us just stayed up there jamming because, I mean, we like to just play, and we're not going to go sit around and, hurry up and wait thing, And we were playing and jamming, and it was really fun. And like 2 weeks later, Dave called Joe and I and like, hey, you want to get together and play and, have some beers, some of your new beer that and it just started from there, and it just took off. It's crazy, how, and there was no, like, Dave came with a bunch of originals, which he hardly has ever done since I've known him. He maybe had a couple, and we started doing originals and some covers, and it was a blast.
And you guys started like right before the pandemic too. So you guys probably didn't do any live shows for a while. Was it just kind of practicing and like writing originals? Was that kind of the...
It's interesting. We started rehearsing at the end of 2019. We had our first 3 shows literally right before.
Yeah, like St. Patrick's Day weekend, whatever it was.
We had 2 big local shows ourselves, and then we opened for Melvin Seals.
Okay.
Maybe like 3 days before everything shut down.
Yeah.
And then we spent, so that whole time when you couldn't do anything, that's when we recorded our first album. We did that. And Corey's got a studio in his basement, and we did an album on our own to make use of the time and rehearse and do what we could do.
Now you said local shows. Where is local for you guys?
Buffalo, New York.
Okay, that's what I thought. So first album, was that all originals or was it like a mix of covers and originals?
That one was all original.
Okay, so I want to talk about the newest album, right? Songs We Didn't Write.
Okay.
So
that's not technically the newest album.
Oh, it's
There's
not?
one coming out in February, but of the ones that are out, it is the newest.
Okay, gotcha. So you didn't write it. There's Bob Marley, Grateful Dead, Harry Styles on it. Kind of like an eclectic group. How did you guys like come about with choosing those songs?
Well, Harry Styles is really the outlier, right? On the record, if you look at the rest of them, it's like the Beatles, Bob Marley, Grateful Dead, Stevie Wonder. So that's all stuff we grew up loving and listening to and playing in bands and stuff. The Harry Styles part came from Corey's daughter, Alexa, who is a huge Harry Styles fan.
Okay.
And she's also a jam band fan, and she loves all kinds of music. So she was like, you guys should try a Harry Styles tune. And so for those who aren't familiar with our music, we don't sing. So we kind of, anything we do as a cover, we rearrange to be an instrumental. So that always involves like kind of trying to find a new way to play it. We don't want to just play it the way the original artist played it, but without vocals.
Yeah.
So we always, the covers we do end up playing are sort of things we feel good about the way we've rearranged, kind of come into a new version of.
The idea for the album was Pete's idea, though, right?
Right, and the idea for the album was my son's idea, who was like, you guys play covers when you play live, and between intervals when you don't quite have enough original music to make album number 3, why don't you do an album of covers? And so I asked these guys about it, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. So the Harry Styles came from Alexa, and I think we made a small playlist of Harry Styles songs. We all listened to them, and the one we ended up with, Canyon Moon, just felt like something we could do our own way and have some fun with. Yeah. So,
do you know that song, Canyon Moon?
I don't know that one. No.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever known it for any of the audiences we've played for, except for Alexa.
I just know the Watermelon Sugar High. That's the only one I know.
That one we don't do. But Canyon Moon's it's a great song, and it's fun to play.
You guys gonna play it tonight?
We just played it last night, so probably not.
Okay. So you guys never sing? Like, even on covers, nothing, you never sing?
We haven't, we've sung in other bands that we played in together, but in this band, I don't know, there was like a hard rule that we made, but like, what's going to make us different maybe from other jam bands in that?
Now, do you find that sometimes that like can kind of like get the audience out of it? Because I've talked to like other bands that are more instrumental heavy, and they're like, we feel pressure to sing to like keep the audience engaged at time. Do you guys struggle with that too?
I guess this is Joe. From my perspective, I think about that a lot, and my youngest daughter and I go to a lot of shows together. So we've been to see Talk, we've been to see Lotus, also instrumental bands.
Yeah.
At the same venues where Disco Biscuits would come, or Pigeons playing ping pong, or whoever, and it's packed.
Yeah.
And people love it. I'm like, okay, no, this is okay, what we do. And there is a market for it. There's some people that I think they need vocals.
Yeah.
That's just their thing, and that's okay.
It
So
was interesting. So last time we played here, my family, a lot of my family lives in Charlotte.
Okay.
And my brother Peter came. He's my second oldest brother, and he's country music, words.
Sing along to every song.
Yeah.
And after he goes, I didn't miss not having lyrics. I thought it was going to bug me.
Yeah.
So we do kind of pull it off where, even like when we're doing a Dead song, we'll quiet down. You'll hear everybody singing
it.
Yeah.
That makes it pretty cool.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's really cool.
that's a cool thing.
Do you find more conversation in the audience? Because is that a thing where people are yapping a little more?
It's night to night is different.
Yeah.
We were in Greensboro a few nights ago. I mean, you could feel everybody just leaning in.
Yeah.
And just hanging on every note. It was
We
like
overplay way too much, so they don't have time.
That is a cool point though, playing like a song like I don't know, but like covering like Fire on the Mountain, where like everyone knows the words to it, and like the words aren't there, so it's like you just kind of get to sing them with your people.
It's
like
pretty
that's
wild.
that's a pretty cool
really
little
neat.
wrinkle on it.
It's
It
a
happened
really
with
cool
the
thing.
Eskimo to us
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Loose
It
Lucy
was
people
excellent.
sing along.
Now, do you guys as musicians ever like find yourself like West End, like kind of singing it while you're playing?
We have to on some parts.
Yeah.
Like, especially a song like Fire on the Mountain, I'll try to sing it in my head so I know where we are.
Yeah.
For that, but in terms of singing it out to the audience, I think we're the three of us so focused on the playing and trying to make it as good as it can be that.
Now, do you ever are like in like a singing part, like the instrumental of singing, and then you just like go off and do like an improv jam? Does that happen a lot?
Oh yeah.
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 Most of it.
Nice. Okay.
Constantly.
Yeah.
The tunes are all vehicles to just improvise and go.
Yeah.
So they go different places on different nights. And another thing we do is we never play the same tunes from one night to the next.
Yeah.
So the set list is always different.
Nice.
So there's tons of space for it to go wherever it wants to go that
Yeah.
night.
We were in Wyoming and somebody asked me, like, it's my first time seeing a jam band. Like, can you tell me what a jam band is? I said, well, I can tell you what I think that means. I said, it's like, we're here, we're set up, we're going to play our music, and we're going on a journey. And if we do it right, you guys are all coming with us. And it was that kind of a night. We were in Jackson Hole that night. He's like, boy, that makes a lot of sense. And it's like, if we do our job, it's like, it's not us and you, it's all of us together having this experience. And it's just like on a night like that, when it clicks, it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's a really insightful way to put that. I like that. So I'm guessing there's a lot of Grateful Dead influence between the three of you guys. What other bands are kind of like, I guess, older influences? Like, kind of what got you into like wanting to play like the drums or guitar? Like, what kind of started it for you?
Yeah, for me, again, this is Joe, keyboard player. For me, The Doors,
Okay.
Pat Metheny Group, Genesis, and Pink Floyd would be my top four.
Genesis, definitely Phil Collins. I'm a total fan of this drumming. Mickey Hart, I love, so I just mix them. I have so many favorites, but seconds out, Genesis was my second album.
Neil Peart for sure.
I love Neil. Yeah.
Okay.
Drummer.
What about like today? Like, who are you guys seeing? Like these newer wave of jam bands, like these younger guys. Like, is there somebody out there that you're like, damn, he's crushing it?
I just saw Billy Strings last week. So.
That's the right answer. Where'd you see him at?
In Rochester, New York.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
that was my fourth show.
Yeah, we just did Huntsville. We did all 3 nights like a month ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, like people are always like, "What's your favorite Billy show?" I'm like, "The last one," and then it'll be the next one when I see him next time. Like,
Right.
it's always so good.
That's cool.
I saw that you guys did a sit-in with Andy Frasco.
More than once, yeah.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple times.
So he was one of my top first 10 guests on the show, and that was kind of like a white whale for me when I got him. So I was like, no way, I'll get Andy Frasco, and I got him.
That's great.
And he was the man. So I just kind of want to hear about like that experience, like playing with such a crazy guy like him.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, and he's so gracious with the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who plays with him, if you see him, if there's a band opening for him, or if he's opening for somebody, he's touring with somebody, he's going to bring people out from those other bands and let them shine. I mean, that's just part of his personality.
The first time they were whipping mushrooms out in the crowd, and they were freaking so loud. It was so funny.
I think we saw him at the Orange Peel back in February, and he like brought out a joint on stage, and security was like, no. They weren't having it.
They don't. Those guys, as a band, they're all just great guys too, and they've been very kind to us. Anytime we've crossed paths, we've opened for them a couple times. We crossed paths with them at festivals, things like that.
He calls Joe his dad.
Well, because he doesn't know my name, which is totally cool. There's no need. He should know my name. He knows I'm an Organ Fairchild.
Yeah.
Right. But if he sees me like in the wings or something like that, or any of us, he'll say, hey, come out and play. Right?
Yeah.
So you come out there, and so he'll look at the audience and say, hey, everybody, my dad's here.
I'm gonna get drunk tonight at the show and be like, that's my dad.
Again, to mention my youngest daughter, we were at a show in Rochester, New York, at an amphitheater. We're walking through the parking lot, and some people flag me down. Me and my daughter, like, are you Andy Frasco's dad? I am not. So I'd like to be very clear if I'm being interviewed or we're saying anything, I am not Andy Frasco's dad. But a lot of people think that I am.
Card on Father's Day.
We did. I forget what that festival. We played with him at a festival, and there's like, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 people in the audience. He's my dad's. Everybody's going crazy. I'm like,
I mean, the hair, it kind of gets past, too.
I'm totally not his dad. That's all right.
For the record, Joe is not Andy Frasco's dad. Or is he? So you guys, all of you guys have talked about like your kids and their influence in music. Like, are your kids musicians too?
Yeah, we can go around. My older daughter plays violin. My younger daughter's a singer.
And how old are your guys' kids?
Mine are the youngest, probably 22 and 20.
Okay.
I have two boys, 27 and 24, and the 27-year-old from a very young age, like, just had a musical ear that I never had, you know. So he literally, I remember him picking up my acoustic guitar, which was sitting on the couch, like, before he was 2, and he just strummed all the open. Do you play guitar?
Yeah, I tried.
Okay. So he strummed
Your 2-year-old
across.
son was probably better than I am at guitar.
He strummed across all the just the open strings, and he said, "This one's out of tune," and he was right. And then, like, before he was even 3, we were listening to Neil Young's "Keep on Rockin' in the Free World," right?
Okay.
He goes, "Dad, listen to how that bass player just." This is before he'd even played an instrument. Or no, I guess he must have been playing something at that point. But he says, "Listen how that bass player is just hammering that E over and over again." I'm like,
3 years old?
I'm like, "Have you ever played this song?" He's like, "No." I said, "How'd you know that was an E?" He said, "Because it sounds like an E." Jeez. So he's got like this built-in ear that I never had.
What's his name? I'm going to get him on the podcast.
He does almost nothing with music right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's pursuing a whole different career, and he doesn't even have a guitar where he's living. Like, his guitar is still at our house where he grew up. But anytime he picks it up, he can just kind of like, you see like the wheels turning, like, "Oh, Pete, what was that, that Pat Metheny song or whatever," and he'll just be like, you can see it, and then he'll just find it,
Now, as a musician, I imagine, like, as a musician, that probably bums you out a little bit. But as a father, you're just happy to see him doing whatever he wants to do.
It's amazing. There's nothing, no bummer about it.
No, it's. I think Dave's downplaying his own ability to do the same thing. He's got a great ear as well. But if I've got a chord I can hear on some recording and I can't figure out what it is, I'll text it to those guys and they'll tell me, yeah, it's an E, an A flat, a B, and a D or whatever, whatever the notes. They'll just tell me, I go, oh yeah, that works, and it's always right.
That is cool, man. So what, like, obviously the emphasis of the band, I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but it seems like organ's kind of like the emphasis of the band. Is that?
I don't know. It started that way. I don't like to think of it that way. Because I don't want to limit us.
Yeah.
In that sense, like when Dave first called me about it and said, "Hey, what do you think about starting an organ trio?" My actual first question was, "What's an organ trio?" And he says, "Oh, like Booker T and the MGs and Jimmy Smith." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." So in my head, when we first started talking about this, like, we're going to learn some cover tunes. We'll do Green Onions. We'll play some corner bars. We'll make a few $100, right? Mm-hmm. I wasn't thinking we'd be in Asheville talking to you guys, right? And then we started looking at, Dave had written a bunch of tunes, and we started looking at those. And so I like to think of it not so much as it's organ focused, but it's music focused.
Okay.
And whatever's right for that song that we all agree on is the way it goes. So there's some tunes I play piano as a focus, from a keyboard standpoint, and a lot of the tunes are guitar focused, and Corey and I are supporting that. So it's it really kind of varies.
I'd say one constant theme is this hand.
Okay.
From him, because he plays bass. He's our bass player.
Okay.
With his left hand. That's sort of the whole concept of an organ trio. It's an old like jazz format from the 50s and 60s where you got a guitar player or a sax player as sort of like a melodic instrument. You have a drummer, and the keyboard player has to play two roles. So you're playing bass with your left hand and keys, organ with your right hand. Yeah. So everything we do is that, whether he's playing piano with his right hand or synth or organ, but he's always the one playing the bass with his left hand.
Nice.
That takes a break, and then he'll like play on the piano with both hands. It's really cool.
Just try to. That was awesome. Just to try to mix it up a little, and without words. How do you vary the music? So you got to be real conscious of. Sometimes we're loud, sometimes we're quiet, sometimes we're fast, sometimes we're slow. Sometimes it's Corey, sometimes it's Dave, sometimes it's me. We try to mix that up, and a lot of that's on the fly.
Yeah.
And whatever somebody, like Dave might be feeling something, and he'll pick up a little theme, and then if we're listening, we'll pick that up and we'll go off in that direction. So
nice. Yeah, I love having these interviews for like bands I'm not all that familiar with before the show. Yeah. Because now it's like I can ask these questions when you guys are doing it later. I'm like, they're doing it. They're talking.
Remember that thing they said?
They're
doing it.
I'm playing real slow tonight.
It's the opposite. She answers the whole show. I'm like, what do you think they're doing up there?
Right.
Yeah. I mentioned that I think when we didn't like go to you guys' set at Dark Star, we were like at camp and like heard it.
Sure. Yeah.
But I do want to talk about just like Legend Valley and like that place. Was that your guys' first time there?
No. That's a story.
Oh, we love a good story. Off the cuff stories are my favorite.
All three of us made pilgrimages there in the 80s and early 90s to see the Grateful Dead. Back when it was called what? Buckeye Lake? Buckeye Lake. So we've all seen Grateful Dead shows, and where the
together or separately?
Together, the two of us.
Okay.
One very famous one.
Separately, I think we were probably all at some of the same ones.
I saw him there with somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the cool thing about so that was our first time at Dark Star Jubilee. The stage was, they told us, only about 100 feet from where the stage would have been when we came to see the Grateful Dead. So we were literally standing almost in the exact same spot. And then the promoter was able to take us behind the stage. He's like, you see all this gravel that's back here? The Grateful Dead made us put this in 91 or something, because they got the last time they were there, their trucks got stuck. It was a really wet night and they couldn't get out. So they're like, the only way we're coming back here is if you line that whole thing with gravel. So they're like, this gravel here is from the Grateful Dead.
That's so this year we can't complain about the gravel.
Yeah, we're barefoot people, so we're like, we want to have our shoes off, and I'm like,
are you barefoot right now?
Well, I have to go work after this. So I work at a restaurant, and I was like, hey, don't put me on the schedule for a little bit and take some time off. And they're like, yeah, for sure. And then last night they were like, hey, can you come in from like 6 to 8 to help us with this rush? And I was like, I got an interview at 5 and a show afterwards, but I can fit you guys in. So I got my real shoes on today.
That's funny.
So you said a famous show that was there. What famous show was there?
Well, famous from a Joe and Dave standpoint.
Oh, okay.
So we went to the show, I want to say, what year was that? 89?
89 probably?
88.
88?
Okay.
So the two of us got, which, we had done 100 times for different things, but we got tickets to this Dead show. Dave had friends that lived in the area that we were going to stay with. And it was like, I don't know, like 110 degrees that day, literally. So we're on the way there, and we're just roasting in the car. We got the air conditioning blasting, and the show is roasting. It was just blazing hot. But Bruce Hornsby and the Range opened that show. And that was the first time I had seen Bruce Hornsby. He came out and played Sugaree with the Dead with his accordion. I went straight home and bought an accordion that I still have to this day, that I'll still use when I fill in with Dead bands back home. But just being there, part of that crowd, part of that experience. I think if we both, I think you went to one earlier. I think both saw the same Dead show. It was our first show was in '84 up in Toronto, in Canada.
Okay.
So we'd been seeing shows for about 4 years at that point, and it was just that whole. Every now and again, I'll reflect on that. Wasn't that like you hear like a live recording? Like, man, I do miss that. Mm-hmm. Just, and not even the band so much, but that community experience that you would have when you would go to some of those.
Absolutely.
So just being there, the weather, anybody that was there will talk about, oh my God, it was like 145 degrees that day, right? Everybody's got their own number for what.
Yeah.
But it was just blazing hot. The show was great. Bruce Hornsby was great. The air conditioning at Dave's friend's house was great. It was just a great. So when I say a great show, it's more our experience.
The experience,
and it was a great show.
I feel like that's always kind of what it comes down to. Like, they can be as tight as possible, but if the experience with the people you're with sucks, and it's like the show sucks.
I'll take the edge off it 100%.
And the opposite is like the band can be all over the place, but if you had fun with the people you're with, it's like best show ever.
All good. Yeah. It was a great time.
Well, I don't want to keep you guys too long because I know you got to eat before the show and I got to go to work. So,
More importantly,
let's do a quick fire. Everybody's favorite era of the Dead.
oh, mine was early 80s. Well, yeah, early 80s through the Brent era.
Okay.
79 to when he passed away. That was because that's when I was introduced.
When you were going, yeah.
Same with me.
Okay.
Yeah, 80s for sure.
Cool.
For me, definitely 70, 72 to 77.
Okay.
I want to say. I mean,
Yeah.
I love all eras of the Dead for different reasons. Well, maybe not the 90s, but I love all eras of the Dead for different reasons. But if I had to pick one, it would be 72 to 77 for sure.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything you want to plug? Any festivals are going to be at in 2026? Shows, big shows coming up? New Year's shows?
We don't have a New Year's show this year. We're finishing up this tour. We've been on the road for about 4 weeks. We're going to be we're here tonight in Asheville. Tomorrow night we're in Athens,
Okay.
Georgia. and
Are
then
you playing at the Georgia Theater?
We're at Nowhere Bar,
Okay.
which we were at once before by the university.
Gotcha.
And then we're home for Thanksgiving. Then we've got 2 shows, one in northern New York and one at Zen Barn in northern Vermont. And then those are our last 2 official shows for the year. We don't have a New Year's show this year. We got anything big coming up at the start of the year?
Well, we just found out last night. I guess we can't talk about it yet, but we will be at least one major festival. Hopefully this coming summer, and there's other festivals in the works as well.
We're at that time where like everything's just getting announced at once.
Right.
Yeah.
But the big, I guess the big news on the short-term horizon is that our new album will be out in late February. It's our 4th record. It's our 3rd album of original music. And the first single from that's actually going to be coming out in a couple weeks, December 4th.
And where can we find all that?
Oh, that'll be on all the streaming services, on our website. If you like vinyl, we have vinyl for all of our recordings. So organfairchild.com. We're also on Bandcamp. And all of our live shows now are getting posted on Nugs and on Bandcamp.
Cool. Chloe, do you got anything?
Nope, I think we're good.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming on, and
Thanks for having us.
we're excited to see you guys tonight.
Yeah, great to meet you guys.
You too.
Awesome. You just got jammed.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome back from that interview with Organ Fairchild. And as you're listening to this today, they have a new song out called The West Side Bowl. So go stream that on all platforms.
Yeah, go listen to it. We'll be listening to it at the same time. I'm excited.